The presenting sponsor of Moon Tower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello, friends, and thanks for listening to Moon Tower Soccer. I'm Mike Cragnola, and I'm joined, as always, by Jeremiah Bentley.
As always, as in we forget who does this part when Landon's not around.
We're
together sharing this with y'all. But yeah, this week we're going to talk about the midweek return to victory against Seattle. We're going to talk about the disappointing weekend loss in Houston, maybe talk about what that all means to us and what that should mean for y'all, and cover the other Austin FC news of the week, including I think what has to be termed a disturbing report out of the Austin FC Academy.
Yeah. It has been a wild week of ups and downs in Austin FC land. Jeremiah, where are you? You look like you're reporting out of an underground bunker.
I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
I'm at a conference, and I won't say the name of this place I'm at, but have you ever been to the Lone Star Court or seen the Lone Star Court near the Domain?
Yes.
It's just like this new constructed funky retro motor court kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a property in Kyle. This place I'm at in Albuquerque was built as one of those, but it's literally just a 50s smelly motor court with a new paint job.
Okay, a landlord special.
Yes, exactly. But it's like I took the elevator up from the inside to walk to my room on the outside, and I'm like, oh, this is not at all what I was expecting. So I will say all the things that can be locked behind me are locked, and hopefully we'll make it through the show without a homeless person wandering into the room.
Yeah,
it does, or whatever else might happen.
I was going to say, it does look like the kind of place that like gets stung by the feds in a TV show. So listeners, I'm sorry that we're not doing the standard video clips this week. You won't be able to see what I'm talking about. So just imagine it. Picture Breaking Bad or like, I don't know, one of those types of shows where they like kick in the door of a seedy motel.
And speaking of Breaking Bad, because Albuquerque is the home of Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
I happened to see on the street a what is the like an RV? They have an RV Breaking Bad tour of Albuquerque with a Rambler RV painted the exact same color as the cooking RV that they used on the show. I don't know if they cook in it, but I know that you can ride up all around Albuquerque and learn about all the famous
crazy
spots.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. All right, we've avoided this for long enough. Let's talk about what happened
all right.
this week in Austin FC land. So we talked about this right before we recorded. This is 3 points from 2 matches, which usually a point and a half per match. It's a pretty good week.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, home and away, right? So like expectation in the lead would be 4 points. And to get 3, pretty close to 4.
Yeah. And you played like a top team in the league and a team near the bottom of the table. And so you're probably going to beat one. You're maybe going to lose to one.
Yeah, this isn't how I
exactly
expected
happen in that order. Yeah. So how you feeling? How'd you feel? Let's just go with the vibes of the week. And you can repeat maybe what I said off the top or have your own take on it. But like, why does this feel like stepping backwards?
Yeah.
Coming out of the break.
For us, being at the stadium for Brad Stuver bobblehead night was amazing. Everybody had their little bobblehead in their hands as they were walking around the stadium. Everybody was there early. It reminded me so much of like, remember when hope was high and vibes were good in the days of 2021, 2022? That's how it felt in the stadium, right? Everybody was there early. The energy was ready. And then it was like the hottest match of all time. And like we somehow came out the other side of this fever dream with a dub. Felt really good in the moment. What about like, was it as fun for you, even though, because you weren't there, right? You were traveling then also?
Right. I was watching that from streamed on the TV from the Xbox at the beach. But yeah, I think so. I did. So the vibes part, the fun vibes part, I didn't get. So maybe we had a different game experience because like just watching it on TV, one, I got all these videos of people with the smoke just hanging in the air because it was like the least airflow that has ever been held for a match ever. But I mean, it seemed like a game where the heat really, really affected people in a big way. And
Yes.
even though they moved kickoff back an hour, which I mean, thank God, I can't imagine what it would have been at a 7:30. But then there was little bits of magic late in the match. I think for me, the fact that I know Seattle's depleted, but I mean, you can bring Christian Ramirez and you can bring Ervin Torres, who had his moments off the bench. Like you feel like, man, maybe this team, they're going to get healthy. They're going to get it all together.
Yeah.
There's something there. There's like little moments of glory. And Ervin's moments were just like moments of individual brilliance. Uzuni gets his goal. He goes crazy. I'm like, maybe this team's going to be okay. And everything that I saw for the first 72 minutes were a lie. And then Saturday comes. And all I remember is like the first 72 minutes of Wednesday and then what happened Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday seemed really tough. I have never been glad not to travel to an away match the way that I was to have not traveled to this Houston game. I feel so deeply for the fans that made it all the way out there and had to watch through that, right? Because, watching from home, man, it was those first 72 minutes, 80 minutes of the Seattle match just worse. And yeah, I mean, like, from an emotional standpoint, losing to Houston is so much worse than losing to Seattle, right? If these games had been reversed and we were coming into Seattle with 90 minutes of the Houston game ahead of us or behind us or whatever, like, maybe it feels different to have come out and scored those last 2 goals to like push over into a win, but it feels brutal. And we played exactly the same way the first 72 minutes of that Seattle game as we did against Houston, and it didn't make any sense either time. So like, how are you feeling about the tactical and formational tweaks that Davey has installed on this team?
I'm not feeling great about it. It just feels like there's a bunch of I think that just highlights how this team is a bunch of parts that don't really fit together very well. And it feels like this tactical shift that Davey's trying to work with is just how do we take each individual person and put them in the place that's most comfortable, regardless of what might be best for the team or how they might play. But you've got like guys that seem to be playing out of position, doing things that they're not very good at. So I don't know how that like leads to long-term success, but that feels like what we got, especially in the Houston post-game presser with the quotes from Davey. It's just like, well, John's going on his foot and Facundo likes to play that way. And it's like, no, but it doesn't seem like there's any regard for the concept of how it all fits together as a whole.
Right. Yeah. That's what we'll get into this a little bit later on in each of the matches, but that is something that I'm really frustrated about. On the plus side, we have gotten minutes from Ervin Torres, which I am loving. It's like, if we're going to throw away the second half of a season, at least give the kids a chance. And it feels like that is happening, right? David Goss from Soccer Wise, immediately after Ervin Torres assisted on that first goal, he skied it out from the Soccer Wise account, play the dang kids. And he was right, like, what a cool moment to get your first assist for the club at home in a game where like that's the winning goal and you made that happen. Also, man, what a pass.
It was, so good. It was just, an individual moment of brilliance, right? That was the thing. Like, that was not the system, right? That was not what everybody was going to do. Just like, that's a really smart kid who plays really good soccer and just made an amazing pass in the moment. And the fact that he gets the assist on both the goals, right? Doesn't he?
Yes.
The second and third goal. So, I mean, I love that out of him, and especially love that out of him coming in at 83, 84, and like immediately getting involved in the play. And I guess if I'm going to, maybe that's the thing that we try to look forward to for the second half of this season, given what we have, is maybe this does convince, Davey and folks, like, play the kids and see what we can get out of them, because it's certainly, I'd rather see him be this creative and maybe not always succeed as opposed to seeing Dubersarsky roll out for how many ever minutes he's going to play again. Because I feel like I know what we're getting up from him.
Yeah. And along that line, seeing him come on for so few minutes against Houston for the next match, like, what would you want to see of Ervin Torres? How many minutes do you think like a kid like that should get in a game against Colorado at altitude? Like, what are you thinking?
I mean, the young spry guy that can run around more than anybody else on the team. But let's say he should start at this point, but should he be the 60-minute in, 30-minute plus extra time sub to try to make a difference offensively? Like, yeah, absolutely. That's where I feel like for right now, what I like to see out of him is coming at 59, 62, whatever it might be, sort of your first group of subs in the second half, and see what he can do and see if he can change the game.
Cool. I want to get into these games. So recap Seattle and Houston, and then we can talk about some more stuff. But first, let's take an ad break.
Okay, let's do it.
Moon Tower Soccer is brought to you by our friends at FVF Law.
FVF is a different kind of personal injury law firm dedicated to community, transparency, and client education. And they have their own podcast called Summary Judgment that you can check out wherever you get your podcasts.
You can go to fvf.law to find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm and why understanding your legal options can dramatically change the outcome of a case. Once again, that's fvf.law. Amplify Credit Union is a member-owned financial cooperative that served the needs of Central Texans for over 5 decades. As a credit union, Amplify has no shareholders or parent companies. That means more of your money stays in the community.
Amplify has been the home of fee-free banking since 2022. Their free checking accounts come with 0 overdraft fees or minimum balance. That means Amplify's fee-free checking accounts help you get more mileage from your everyday spending. Amplify
membership is open to any Texas resident. Learn to trust your bank again at Amplify Credit Union. To learn more and to register for free parking at the Esperanza branch on game days, visit www.goamplify.com/moontower. And Jeremiah, will there be free parking during Leagues Cup?
There will be free parking during Leagues Cup if I remember to tell the people at Amplify to add that to the drop-down menu options. So yes, there will be.
Awesome. You heard it here, folks. All right, let's get into this Seattle recap. We talked about it pretty briefly up at the top, but maybe we can get into it a little bit more and see if there's anything worth talking about. We won't do the standard, Landon tactical breakdown of this game because Landon's not here and he's the best at it. So why would I try to do that? And why would I make Jeremiah try to do that?
Because we would just be poor imitations of the Landon Cottom here. All right, so this one, we'll try to remember right back to Wednesday. We were full of hope and joy before the match and after the match, like you talked about. So Austin picks up a home win, clearly depleted Seattle sides 3-1. And when the injury report comes out, Seattle's everybody, but I think we all remember.
That's not stopped them from before.
That's not stopped them in the past.
Right.
So nobody feels very comfortable. Wait, did you guys talk about John Bell's injury last week?
We did.
Okay.
But yes, John Bell was out in this game with an injured pubis, which it feels like bullying from the club to be so specific. But that's my personal take, right? Like we could have said lower body, we could have said anything else, but no, they didn't. And so that was definitely part of the pregame narratives, along with kind of how does a Davy club look? What is the position? What is the structure? Are we going to play the same kind of Nico structure? Are we going to do something different? Like, what's it going to look like? And he had teased in the pregame for this game that like, oh, we've seen some things that are going to help unlock us. So we've got a couple ideas. And so that's cool. Along with that was the question of like, what is everyone's health going to be? Brendan Hines-Ike was questionable beforehand. We knew Mikkel Dessler went down with the Achilles injury. And then the last question was, how hot will it be? The answer was very hot to the point that they had to delay the game an hour before kickoff. And it was still the hottest I've ever been in that stadium. And I think I've missed maybe 5 total matches since 2021. And this was by far the hottest I've ever been there.
So those open corners for airflow, well, those only work if there's airflow, right? The
Right.
open corners for a breeze only work if there's some kind of wind blowing through. And I guess it's not what y'all got on Wednesday night.
No, there were like long stretches where wind was registered at 0 miles per hour at Camp Mabry. Like hour plus of zero wind. It was crazy. And then because the air was so hot and it was so heavy and dense, when the smoke went, it didn't like go up into the atmosphere. It stayed at field level because it wasn't like the temperature of the smoke wasn't high enough to beat the air temperature to like raise out of the stadium. It was crazy. It was so hot. But we get
like
this.
that was what you see from the guys on the field too, like right throughout it is that those were guys who were conserving energy.
Yeah. No, well, everybody but John Gallagher, who of course started out on the right. So our starting lineup was Brad Stuver in goal, John Gallagher, Svatak, Brendan Heinzeich, and Biru out on the left. Midfield of Torres, Sabovic, Sanchez, and Rosales, and then Uzuni and Vasquez. And what did you think of this lineup when you saw it roll out?
Well, when I see it, I mean, I don't know why Owen's not in this lineup. I guess is the first thing I ask myself. Seeing it and thinking it was going to be like a standard 4-4-2, I'm kind of okay with it. I feel like we have the forever question about whether Uzuni and Vasquez can successfully play together, since Uzuni was at his best when he had not Brandon Vasquez as the other person lined up top. But that's not really what we got either, right? Didn't we kind of get like a 5 at the back thing for the most part? Which is Sabo and Sanchez in the midfield?
Right. We ended up with a kind of 3-4-3 kind of situation, right? Where we ended up with Joseph Rosales playing as our right wing back and John Gallagher as our left wing back, which, okay, if we want to invert the wing backs, that's fine. They'll cut inside onto their dominant foot is the concept behind this, right? Totally cool. But then we also inverted our wingers. And so Facundo Torres, who is left-footed, was also playing out on the right. And so he would also like to cut inside, just like Joseph Rosales would like to cut inside. And then Mirtu Uzuni is playing out on the left. And he would like to cut inside to get onto his right foot, just like John Gallagher would like to cut inside and get onto his right foot. And so we end up with all of our width attacking into the same spaces for the whole game. What did you think of that idea, Jeremiah?
Well, it didn't seem great. It didn't seem like position for success. I can't remember who did the call because I was watching it on TV right on the Apple broadcast, but whoever was on the Apple call that night, it was a former player because almost all the color guys are former players. Just really all over what a bad idea that was and how it's impossible to find width. Like it's impossible to shift the field when everybody's like funneling in toward the middle. I've been playing a lot of Duolingo chess lately, and it's all about controlling the middle of the board, which maybe works well for chess, but it does not work great for professional soccer.
I mean, if we ever pass through the middle, we would know whether that's true or not.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
So by the stats, we did win the possession game, 52 to 48%. We were even on shots, 10 to 10. We won shots on target, 6-3. We lost the XG race, 1.44 to 1.06. But we won the real goals game.
Which these are the ones that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So that 3-1 win, even though we didn't pick up the XG to deserve that win, kind of came at us in interesting, different ways. Folks who maybe you would not have expected. Like this opening goal at 12 minutes. Obviously, who should take a corner kick in Davy Arnaud's new look lineup it obviously should be Dubersarsky, right?
Of course. And he does take this one, and it's amazing. And on TV, they originally thought it was just like a quarter that went in.
Yeah.
And didn't figure out it came off Ilya's head, which is entirely reasonable. And then he doesn't take another one all night. Right. Also, if I remember right, then Facundo Torres takes every other quarter, which is somewhat inexplicable.
Yeah. In the stadium, we also did not know in the moment whether it came off Dubersarsky straight into the goal or Ilya. They announced Ilya was the goal scorer, and we were like, oh, okay.
Are we sure?
Cool. But yeah, it was a great moment really early and led to a lot of I've never doubted Dubersarsky in the crowd.
Of course. Yeah.
Dubersarsky is my favorite player 12 minutes into this game. And yeah, it like the setup was really good. Ilya was able to get a ton of height on this header. I was so impressed with his ups. Didn't know he had it in his bag, but he went up and got it, and we're ahead 1-0. And how were you feeling at that moment? Because that happens fast.
That did happen fast, but I feel like I was expecting on the night that this was going to be one of those like 1-0, maybe 1-1 kind of matches. So I'm feeling good. I felt positive about it. Didn't expect the return goal from Seattle to come so soon, and then I had a very different feeling after it became 1-1, and the game drug on for so long after that. But I don't know. We're all feeling the vibes in the stadium.
Yeah, of course. We like the Seattle goal happens very quickly after this, but in the moment we were like, this is the time where we need to see what this new look Austin FC is, right? Because we know when the Josh Wolf led Austin FC or Nico Esteves led Austin FC, when they go up a goal, they sit down, they bunker, they wait. And what I was really looking for was, will we stay on the front foot? And they weren't as defensive and as like in a shell. But then this 26-minute Paul Rothrock unassisted goal happens. And we're like, well, maybe you could have put in some more defense on this one.
Yeah, maybe somebody could have played some defense on this one, right? Because just a total lapse coming in there where, who was it? Who was really, Joseph Rosales.
Yeah.
Was the person who just kind of went to sleep on this goal.
Yep. And so we get the equalizer from Paul Rothrock, who I feel like is always tormenting Austin FC. It used to be Paul Rothrock cooks Danny Pereira in the midfield, but now it's Paul Rothrock cooks Austin FC's defense, scores the goal, and the energy just plummets from here. Nobody wants to play. It is so hot. The only person doing running is John Gallagher. And, I mean, he looks like he could have run another full 90 at the end of this game. He gets through into the half, and the exodus of people in the stadium is remarkable. Cannot blame them. It was so hot. To the point that like Steph and I looked at each other and were like, we could just go. We decided not to, but like
you're like, we live close enough. We can catch most of the rest of this game from the house, right?
Yeah, literally, like we could have biked home and missed the first like 4 minutes of the second half. And so like it was a real, should we do this? We decided that we would want a shower when we got home. And so we would like feel gross standing and sweating in our living room. So we just sat and sweat in the stadium instead.
So this half 1-1. Yeah, the no energy, I don't think from the fans or either side.
Yeah. I will say the fans in the stadium gave it everything they could. The supporters, as always, doing the best that they can do. But it definitely, the sound didn't travel as far because the air was so heavy and hot. So I don't know if it necessarily kind of made it out through the rest of the stadium but like in our seats where we normally sit, vibes were still just as strong from that south end. So kudos to y'all putting in a full shift. And then we get into the second half, and not a lot happens for a very long time until the subs get made. And the subs really changed the game. Yeah.
The second set of subs, right, really changed it, because the first set here is Owen. You can see Plaheta for the first time, and Djordjevic at 62-63.
Yep.
And there's not a ton that changes there. And then very late, we get Christian Ramirez, Ervin Torres, and magic starts to happen.
Yeah.
From both of them.
Yeah. Yep. Of course, Christian Ramirez can't help but be involved in stuff. But first, we get that Mirtu Azuni goal from Ervin with just what an incredible slide pass. Like breaking, he receives the ball and then just roasts poor Jackson Reagan, who is not having a good night at this time. Roasts him in the middle of the park and then hits a inch perfect pass to Mirtu Azuni, who finishes really well. This is the kind of goal that like you expect out of a guy who scored double-digit goals in La Liga, and you see it and you're like, oh, okay. That's like, do that all the time, and that's a $12 million player, you know? How did that make you feel watching on TV? Is it as good on TV as it was in person?
Oh, it was so beautiful. And then get to see the replays, like the slow-mo replays up close and stuff. And to your point, there's a lot of worlds where that pass gets made and Mirtu Azuni screws it up. And it doesn't end up in the back of the net, because that has happened lots and lots of times. And I would say it's much less often this year. I feel like he's done a better job. This is 6 goals in the season, maybe. I don't know exactly. But he's done a lot of better job of finishing those moments. And hopefully this, just ignoring that Saturday happened, hopefully he'll continue to build his confidence. And he'll be able to do more of it. But it's just really good to see that connection and just his ability to finish too. And you kind of understand at that moment why he had been so appealing.
Yeah. And he does have 6 goals on the season now. And so, yeah, we're feeling pretty good. We're up 2-1. We're thinking, hey, maybe this will end up a good game. And
he gets the yellow for taking his shirt off too.
Yep, he does get the,
which I always appreciate the good yellow card for that one.
Yep, that's a worthwhile Selly yellow. Is this the first Austin FC player who's taken their shirt off when they scored a goal?
I don't remember seeing another one do that, but I feel like y'all are the Selly experts. I feel like you would know, and you would have accounted for that somewhere.
Well, normally
in your goal celebration reviews.
Yeah, normally we would do research on this, but we were so sweaty and tired the next day when we were recording, we were still like dehydrated. But I'm pretty sure this was the first shirt off Selly. We'll have to go back and check the tape. Oh no. But then, almost immediately after, we get another situation where Ervin Torres is super dangerous in the final third, and he cuts down to the end line, which, oh my God, just do that more, and cuts the ball in to Christian Ramirez, who takes the ball down and does an unbelievable job here. I think this finish is the kind of thing that reminds you of how good he's been in his career, whether that was with Minnesota or Columbus or over in Europe or back here. Just so clean and so right on the money for this third goal in the 90th minute. Like the XG on the shot was 0.17. The XG on target, which is how good of a shot is this after it's been made, was 0.68. So like the exact kind of finish that you're hoping for from a guy that you're paying to be a striker.
Yeah, and the body control there, the finding the ball, the timing is incredible, right? He could have any hesitation on that, and that ball doesn't end up in the back of the net. Maybe it probably doesn't matter for the match, but it's just the exact move at the exact right moment to secure this 3-1 victory.
Yep. Puts him at 5 goals on the season now. So coming up on Mirtu, 1 behind him in like a third or half the amount of time on the field. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, just a moment that, like, as fans who just got done watching a month of World Cup games, we take a touch and a finish like that, I think, for granted, because it's been so long since we've seen MLS caliber players. Well, yeah, of course he's going to finish there. But no, like, that was a special piece of work. And if you haven't rewatched the highlights on that goal, highly recommend it.
I would
Shortly
recommend you do
after-
that instead of rewatching Houston. Honestly,
Yes.
we're going to find something to rewatch from the week.
Yeah. Shortly after that, Jackson Reagan gets a yellow card in the 90th +5, making it his second yellow card, and he gets red carded out of the match, which I think just highlights where Seattle is at in this moment. Like, everything is coming down around them. And so maybe that should have been the canary in the coal mine for us, but I was huffing that hopium deep after this
Yeah,
Wednesday
same,
match.
man. Same. Yeah. Do you want to? You have this little passing chart also
yeah.
that you put in here, and maybe I think this is another reason why when you look at this, you're like, maybe we shouldn't be quite as excited as we were coming out of this match.
Yeah, so this one is not as offensive as the Houston passing map, but I did include both of them just so that when we were talking about this game, we had something to reference. We see clearly that this is a 3 center backs structure, 4-ish across the middle, and then 3 in attack. And like, one thing from this game that is pretty nice is that distance on the left side between our left wing back, our left winger, and our left center midfielder. One thing that is not as nice is the distance on the right side of the field. Our right winger, our right wing back, and our center forward are basically all in the same place. And It felt like it. The number of times that Facundo Torres just like was standing next to Joseph Rosales was crazy. And we're like, oh, maybe it's just, growing pains from this new system. Maybe it'll change. And ultimately, it didn't matter. We got the dub. So who cares? Put a pin in that. This is maybe foreshadowing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, in the biz, foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so overall, what did you want to say about Ervin that we haven't talked on yet?
I mean, I think we covered it. Just the ability at that age to just come in and immediately make a difference in a match and not wait for the moment to happen. I feel like you see this I feel like you see this with a lot of new players. Just regardless of how long they've been around, they just kind of come in and like, oh, I got to kind of acclimate and figure the system out. And he just like came in and went. And I feel like I wrote Plaheta in here too. I feel like we got some of that out of him too. He felt like active and dangerous in his 30 minutes, and
very
not
fast.
A ton of it shows up in the score sheet. Yeah, and very fast, but just not a guy that was waiting on the game to come to him or find it, but a guy that was actually trying to make a difference. And so that was the thing I was the most impressed out of both of them.
Yeah, I really liked seeing Plaheta come in and like try to grab the game when he was in. You could tell right away that he wanted to make an impression, and that was really exciting. I didn't feel like that necessarily from Owen Wolff. I was really surprised when he came into the game how passive he was for what was happening. It felt like he last year was getting involved a lot, and maybe this is part of like working your way back up to fitness or whatever. But yeah, there was something like hesitant in his game, I thought, from the outside. And then I was really impressed with Mateo Djordjevic's half hour or so. I thought he played pretty well. And this was a guy who has been up and down for us, but like I thought he acquitted himself pretty decently in the situation that he was put into. But what did we not like from this game? I've got a note.
Is this your note or mine? I don't know if we wrote the same note. What? Yeah, go with your note because I will agree with what you wrote.
So I wrote in this document, double inversion is weird, right? Like if you're gonna invert the wingers, meaning you're playing them on the opposite side of their dominant foot, and you're gonna invert the wing backs. Now you've got 4 people for 2 like patterns of play running into each other all over the field. And that was kind of weird, right?
Yeah, and you can see it from that chart. That's kind of what happened.
Yeah. And so I guess my question to you is, on TV, did it feel and look as congested as it felt in the stadium, having these players like on top of each other?
It did, and that was, we can talk all day long about the difference between watching the World Cup and like watching Major League Soccer, but that is a real clear note. Like when we went to that Egypt game, like the wide players were so wide, like they weren't even on the TV screen a lot, right? Because they were like actually wide players playing out wide, and you could get every Austin guy, on a really narrow field of vision because they were all clogging up the middle. So that was just, it was odd. So it showed up on TV that way too, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because man, in the stadium, it felt so bizarre. And like, it was one of those moments where I had to say, well, they're professionals. Like they must know something about this that I don't. But it seems like setting up overloads on one side of the pitch where you're not actually trying to like go anywhere doesn't seem good. It feels bad. And so, yeah. Was there anything else that we didn't like from this game?
I think that covers most of it for me. I think we've talked about this one enough. We could, I mean, not that we want to spend a ton of time on Houston, but like sweating. You probably didn't like sweating.
Yeah, sweating was the other thing I didn't like. Did we learn anything?
Oh, I don't think we learned anything in this game in and of itself. I think we learned some things about how annoying this pattern is.
Yeah.
Between this game and the Houston game and Davey Arnaud's pattern, post-game comments from Houston, and how maybe we should
buckle up,
get used to this and try to find a way to embrace it.
Yeah. So let's quickly review the Houston game. As a reminder, this is a Copa Tejas match. And the Copa Tejas standings going into this match had we were tied, right, in Copa Tejas before this match.
Before this one, right? Because I saw a lot of talk online about, we're going to, this is an important match, and we're going to go in and make a statement, and we made a statement of some sort.
Yeah.
Not the one everybody was hoping.
Yeah. So we were tied with FC Dallas going into this on 3 points. FC Dallas was ahead of us in the standings because they had we were ahead of FC Dallas, in the standings because we had a 2-goal differential over our rivals. And so yep. We come into this match away after having beaten Houston 2-0 at home earlier in the season. And what was your pregame narrative for this match? Like, what do you think?
I was feeling good about this match going into it. Was curious about what kind of rotation we might get just with the Heat, but also with, Wednesday to Saturday is a pretty typical number of days off. I think, would we see more of Plaheta and Ervin is a question going in. Is John Bell's pubis going to correct itself or not? I think is a question going in. Wish we wouldn't find out. And I know that soccer players are professionals and they care about every match. But in some way, I really wish that the players and coaches at Austin FC cared as much about beating down the Houston Dynamo as the fans of Austin FC do, because it does not feel like that energy is consistent. And so I was hoping to see that coming into the match, because we got to talk in the midweek about Copa Tejas, and we know this is important and blah, blah, blah. But like the results of the field did not bear themselves out.
Yeah. My kingdom for a roster that cares about the rivalry that we care about, like rivalries, I guess, because it's both Houston and Dallas, right? Like Houston has felt like the easier one to get up for because we beat them so well and so frequently. So I was going into this match thinking, okay, cool, we're gonna do them the same way that we did last time. So we see the starting lineup come out, and we've got 2 changes from the Seattle match. Were you expecting more or less?
I was expecting
Or
less.
different?
I thought I was expecting them to roll out the same lineup that we had the match before. 1, because it worked, and 2, just because of health and stuff. Like, not a ton of options.
Yeah, so we swapped out Besard Sabovic for Owen Wolf and Joseph Rosales for Shemiswa Pajeta. And Pajeta, like, in a wingback kind of role is interesting because of how fast he is and how much he runs. But it does feel like if he is going to run into the same space as someone else, that is less valuable.
I think that's fair. Well, and I know there was some commentary on, like, the way Jim Curtin wants to play, and this is not a lineup where everybody's going to be committed to defending the back line when you have a guy that likes to run like that.
Right. Yeah, this is a very
like some of the, like,
attacking
not a strength of Owen Wolf's, Yeah, and obviously it is borne out in what happens in the first 30 minutes. I mean, you have to hope that when you do that, you punch him in the nose in the first 10.
Yeah.
Pick up the first goal. Famously, goals change games, but we did not get that.
We did not. So on the night, stats-wise, we have more possession, we have more shots, we have more shots on target, we have higher XG. We do not have higher goals. So this is
Desired outcome.
Yeah, desired outcome. Most important stat, goals. We didn't have them, but Mateusz Bogusz sure had a night, just running behind our back line.
Yes.
So this happens fast too. As soon as the announcers say Austin's really on the front foot tonight, as soon as that happens, it turns into a breakaway, counterattacking opportunity. Where Mateusz Bogusz is just viciously behind our line. And the assists come from Zico, Ponce, and Guilherme. And Bogusz just really makes the back line look bad in this. John Gallagher is chasing him down. And then there's an opportunity for Svatak to pick him up as he runs into, like, Svatak's area. But Gallagher keeps following him. And so, like, Svatak sees Gallagher continue and tries to peel off. John Gallagher sees Svatak starting to commit and peels off. So they both leave him. And now he's wide open. And when the pass inevitably comes back to him, he just slots it home. And that's it. Not a lot Stuver could have done on this one. But man, your take on this first goal.
Well, this one's tough, and it's evidenced the whole night. And this one leads to, there's another goal 17 minutes later, but there's like another chance pretty soon after that too. That's the same. That's sort of the theme on the night. I mean, I guess the big thing is, like, Bogusz is good. Don't leave him alone. He's the kind of player that's going to punish you. Yeah. Nobody else on the defense kind of seemed to have gotten that memo, but yeah, it's just like a team defensive breakdown is what I saw out of these first 2 particularly.
Yep. And then the second goal is almost a mirror image of that first one. Again, Matty Bogusz is in with the assist is credited to Guilherme and Diade. And it just, 29 minutes in, and now we're down 2-0, and we head into a hydration break, and we're like, oh, good. We're going to reset. We're going to get our head straight. We're going to come back out, and we'll see how this goes. That's what happened, right,
And then
Jeremiah?
Jeremy had other ideas. Jeremy had other ideas. He's like, I'm tired of delivering up assists. I would like a goal of my own, please, sir.
Yeah, and so he goes and gets one. Basically, just another counterattacking opportunity where the defense has like fallen apart. And this one, I have seen people online saying that Brad Stuver could have done a better job on. This one in the second goal. What is your thought on these?
And what's the take? Is it? I mean, I guess I saw. Is it this one where it's like, oh, he could have come off his line to cut down the angle, or was it this? I couldn't remember which one that was, but
on both of them, that's kind of the general take. Is that like if Stuver had been off his line faster, he might have cut down the angle.
Sure, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to put a lot of criticism on Brad Stuver on the night.
I was going to say
with the breakdown for the guys behind him, in front of him. Sorry.
Yes, I think he could have done more. And I think if we are relying on Brad Stuver to continually have a perfect match every single game, that we're not going to win a lot.
It's not going to go well.
And on a night where Brad Stuver doesn't have a great game, or even has a bad game, like, we're in trouble. If we need Brad Stuver to be capital B,
what he's
capital
been.
S, Brad Stuver, right? Like, that's not great for us. And I think on the night, it's especially hard when Jonathan Bond has such a good game opposite him, right? But man, felt bad.
So give me your take on this. And I don't honestly have a firm opinion on it, but these are 3 goals. It's 3-0. Quite doubtful Austin's going to come back. We were talking about what Austin has done with the lead. I mean, Austin doesn't threaten very much. They don't get a ton of shots. They get, I think, 6 shots in the second half after only 4 in the first. But, Houston really didn't seem to be. Do you feel like Houston was bunkering and Austin couldn't capitalize on it? Or was it just like a listless night all the way around?
Yeah, I think in the second half, right, Austin has 9 shots in the second half compared to 6 shots in the first. And
okay.
So
more,
but
not
a lot, and they're not great chances. A lot of them are blocked in the box. A lot of them are like contested headers off set pieces, and they generate 0.66 XG in the second half. So like over 9 shots, that's not good.
Not awesome. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those where when you see this 3-0 lead and then the team that's behind them will get like 17 shots in the second half or something like that. And this is not what happens with Austin, which is disturbing.
And a lot of that, to me, comes because of this passing chart that Austin has in this Houston game, where the left winger and the left wing back, their circles overlap in this chart. I have never seen before in my life, that the circles like overlap each other, but that's how it felt. What are your takeaways from this one? What did you like? Anything?
I think I wrote like Houston stopped scoring at halftime. I think was the thing I most liked.
Yeah.
Out of this one, no,
so
I don't. It was
didn't you like?
Uninspiring? Yeah. All of it, the way everybody played. Oh man, yeah. Whatever the Jayden Nelson thing was, is the thing that I particularly did not like. So for those of you that haven't read about this, so Jayden Nelson's ready to go in.
Yeah,
like he's done the warm up. He's been called over. He gets ready to go in.
He's coming in for the last sub window, which for Austin was in the 82nd minute. And he has taken off his penny. He has his jersey on. He's standing on the sideline, and then he gets called back. And John Kolmanich gets called in. He puts on his his jersey, and he comes in. What? Have you ever seen something like that before?
No, and this is Jayden Nelson gets 0 minutes on the week, right? Because he didn't play in the Wednesday match either.
Correct.
If I remember right. So no, I've never seen a guy so ready to go in. And Davey in the post game is asked about it, and he says basically that that Nelson doesn't have the right mentality, I think is the phrase that he uses in here. But what happens to where you call the guy up and he's ready to go? Like, what does he say? I love the theory that maybe he just mutters like "finally" under his breath.
Yeah, I've seen that
about coming in, because like what else could it be?
Yeah,
and what does that say about Jayden Nelson's ongoing future opportunities in Austin?
Yeah. The quote from Davey was, "He just wasn't in a good mindset to come into the game. We can't have that. We want guys that are locked in and ready to go." Got that off the We Are Austin TV screen grab of the quote. And like, go on, Davey, say more.
Say more. Yeah, what exactly?
You know,
was he showing you his Pinterest recipes like, while he was waiting to come in? Yep.
If you're gonna throw a player under the bus like that, like, go all the way. You know, this like half digging at the player and then like backing out on it, like, pick a lane. You know, at least I don't know. One thing I think.
You said this is the most Josh Wolf-like of his post-game pressers. Didn't you describe it that way?
Yeah, that's what the vibe has been, right? Of like, it wasn't my fault. And I just think it's really wild to see that kind of like thing already happening. You know, like you would have imagined, I think, new coach comes in, we're going to try a new thing, and like, I don't know, new coach bump is usually a thing for other teams. Why not us? Why don't we get one of those, Jeremiah?
Why can't we have nice things, Mike? I don't know. What else? What other reflections do you have on this match before we move on and talk about the news?
I have no idea how Davey wants this team to score goals. I rewatched the Houston match to try to find some sort of like plan, and I don't understand what the goal is. Like, how is our offense building toward scoring goals? I know how we're getting the ball into the final third, but then it's staying in the wings. So like, is the plan to cross it in like it has been for all of Austin's tenure? Like, at what point do we say, hey, maybe that's not working, and try and do something else? I don't know.
And on this chart you showed, is the line between the left side and the center forward blank? I guess maybe it was one pass.
Yeah.
Something is what we're seeing there, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks like our left wing, our right center mid, and our left center mid, and our right center back attempted one pass to our center forward all night. So, I mean, not great. And then in the post-game presser, Davey Arnaud was asked about trying to get Owen more involved in the play. And he was like, yeah, I mean, he's been playing a lot deeper than he needs to like affect the game in the final third. Who puts him there?
Yeah.
Like, that's my question. Like, is he doing that on his own, or is there like instruction to be there? Because he's never, like, that's never been a problem for him before, and now it is.
He's never freelanced by running away from the ball and the pass, right?
Yeah. Like, he might behave safely with it and like turn it around and pass back, but he's up there. He's gonna receive the ball in forward like positions. Just weird. Just really weird. But yeah. Did we learn anything out of this game?
I I learned that Davey Arnaud didn't know that we hadn't won a road game all year, which seems like a weird thing for a coach to not know.
Yeah, he's been here.
Great. Yeah, he's been around for it.
He was even here for our last home win or road win, which was September of 2025. So like, feels like a stat you should know. Fascinating. The thing that I learned is we're trying to do this double inversions thing that doesn't make any sense. And Davey Arnaud says that the plan is not going to change for Colorado. So buckle up.
Yeah, well, that'll save us some time on the Colorado preview later. Just gonna be like more of the same, but it's going to work differently somehow. We can't explain how, but Davey's convinced it will.
I mean, Facu and Brendan Vasquez are going to start scoring goals. You just got to have
somehow. Yes. Just believe, Mike. All right. Let's
take a break.
Yeah, let's do it. This ad read may be the thing I'm the most excited about out of this whole show because we have a new sponsor we could talk about.
Woo!
Moon Tower Soccer is brought to you by Grit and Guile Brewing, the city of Kyle's first ever brewery, opening downtown next year, home to a craft brewery and coffee roastery under one roof. Construction on their brick and mortar starts soon, but our friends at Grit and Guile are already roasting their single origin coffee, and they will ship it straight to your door.
Yeah,
they've shipped us some coffee that Landon has not shared with us yet because it was shipped to Landon's house, so we'll get on him about that.
He shared it with me, and it's very good.
I haven't gotten my coffee yet.
We have already brewed ours in the house. We drank it all. So we have to order more now at gritandguilebrewing.com. That's gritandguile, G-Y-L-E, brewing.com. You can learn more and sign up for their first Pour Coffee subscription at the website. They've got a tagline here, Grit and Guile, your daily rituals deserve to be remarkable. And I think that's really cute. I also highly recommend their Ethiopia Natural. That's the coffee that I got, and it is phenomenal. It's really, really good. Gonna have to order some more. We also got like a really nice mug, and their logo is cool. We're fans.
Awesome. So y'all check out Grit and Guile.
Yeah, gritandguilebrewing.com. Guile, G-Y-L-E, like the city of Kyle. Moon Tower
Soccer's.
Oh,
you can read
Jay is you. You are
Jay is me. Moon Tower Soccer is brought to you by Sage Wilson Realty. Look to score your next home while rates are back to their lowest levels since 2022. Don't get caught offside or sleeping while Houston players run behind you in this market.
Yeah, the right strategy can keep you awake and turn opportunities for today into your winning goal. If you're looking for Sage real estate advice in Austin, contact our friends at Sage Wilson Realty. Be sure to check them out online at sagewilson.com. They also know the difference between J and L. All right, let's talk about news for this week. And I think this first piece of news is probably the worst news that we have received in Austin FC universe. Pablo
Maybe
Maurer,
ever.
yeah. Pablo Maurer with The Guardian reported an investigation into Austin FC Academy players for sexual abuse allegations. And the article details that the club reported these allegations to local law enforcement and followed safe sport guidelines. The quote is, in December 2025, the Austin FC Academy became aware of allegations of youth-on-youth misconduct occurring amongst a group of academy players. After learning of these issues from concerned academy families, Austin FC Academy took immediate action. The story is ongoing. Jeremiah, what are we leaving out here? What what does
I
this
think you hit on
mean?
them. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. That's obviously what it is. There's no upside. So I don't like this is all couched in like the least bad things. But I mean, I guess the fact that the club seems to have to this point in time not been implicated in, allowing this is probably something. And from what we've seen so far, which is obviously subject to further review and reporting, that like as soon as they knew something about it, the club did something. And I think we've probably everybody that's played sports in the youth at some level has had some kind of bad experience, not to this point. But then the question becomes like, okay, but like, did the coaches really know? And should they have known? And from everything we've seen so far, it seems like Austin FC took the right steps, but we'll never really know.
Right. And if like, it does sound like they have so far, which is good. And like with the history of our club and violence, like the Cecilio Dominguez situation, the Claudio Reyna situation, like the club has done the right things when confronted with hard situations like this. The fact that this is the third scandal like this that the club has been involved in feels really bad. But I am hopeful that like the club did everything right in this situation. And if not, that the investigation that's ongoing uncovers any potential wrongdoing, and that whoever was doing that faces consequences.
I think that's probably where we could just leave it. It's like, yeah, hopefully the investigation is a legitimate investigation.
Right.
Well, if you have the FBI involved, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a legitimate investigation, and that whoever needs to be held accountable for whatever happened is ultimately held accountable for it, and that's what we should all pull for.
Yeah. There was a call out from Pablo after the article was published, clarifying that this is currently only players are involved in the investigation, not the club itself and not club employees. So an upside, I think, for those of us who want to believe that our club is doing the right thing. All right. Getting back into soccer, there have been some player rumors this week, and a couple of them are outgoing player rumors. I don't know how much should fans be kind of like looking into these rumors or believing these rumors. The first one is there is a rumor that Nico Dubersarsky is potentially finalizing paperwork to complete a loan to Club Atlético Tigre in Argentina. Do you think there's smoke to this rumor, Jeremiah?
I mean, this one seems somewhat interesting to me because the journalist here, Scott, seems fairly reputable, right? He's got 30,000 followers on Twitter. Tom Bogert's one of them. Like, it seems like a legit source. And this one, it's not one of these. In this season, you get some of these like somebody might or might not be interested in somebody, and 7 other people are interested in them, and then 2, and these kind of rumors that seem like moves that are agents trying to get more money for their player. Mm-hmm. But this one says, like you said, details are being finalized with Austin for a loan without fee and with a purchase option going forward. So like that's pretty specific in terms of what the deal might be. How do you feel about the credibility of the reporting, I guess, first? And then secondly, how would you feel about a world where Nicholas Dubersarsky is not in the midfield in Austin?
Yeah, I am sad about the idea of him not being here because I think like he had a lot of potential when he was kind of coming through, and this seems like kind of the opportunity to like showcase some of that, where he is like ostensibly in a kind of pressure-free environment, right? Opportunity where it seems like nothing really matters feels like the perfect opportunity to play a kid like this. That said, I know there has been some consternation about how much he will make at the end of his contract with some people involved with the team. And so if that relieves that stress, that's a huge benefit, right? Additionally,
he's not playing a ton either.
Right. Additionally, it frees up a bunch of it frees up an international roster slot and it frees up a U22 slot. And so those are valuable positions to be able to sign players for. I would care more about that if we had a sporting director.
Right.
We don't.
Who's making, yeah.
And so who cares? If we have a deal in place to move a player, okay, so now we just won't have a player. It's not like we're going to get a new one. And so I'm finding it really hard personally to care at all about a move like this.
But do you want to see Jorge Alastue take those minutes? I mean, that's one where...
But he doesn't play the same position, right? He would be an attacking midfielder. So he would be in the same run of minutes as Owen Wolff and Ervin Torres and Facu Torres. And so is he going to win minutes over one of those three guys?
Probably not. That's true. Yeah. Who are the other defensive midfielders?
Right. At this point, if we get rid of Mateo Djordjevic, we have Ilya Basard-Sabovic. And then
Dubersarsky, not Djordjevic, but yes, agreed.
Oh, another rumor that has started up in the past couple of days is Mateo Djordjevic. Reportedly, we are looking to move on from Mateo Djordjevic, also a U22. But yeah, no, you're right. Dubersarsky is, the rumor that we were talking about just then.
Okay, well, let's go to the Djordjevic one. It's all good, man. It's been a long week. It's loose. I haven't read this one, so I'm going to rely on you for that.
Yeah,
I would say I feel like with Djordjevic, at least, if I don't feel like I know enough about him to have an opinion. I would like to see more of him before we decide to move on from him.
Yeah, this one is a rumor, very much in the rumor category, but it is a Verde Nation report. But this one seems a little bit different than the normal aggregation rumors that Verde Nation is used to putting out, or we are used to reading from Verde Nation, where it feels like this one is an internal Austin-based rumor that the club is looking to move on from Djordjevic. How would that make you feel?
Well, who is the club that's looking to do this? Again, to your point about not having a sporting director. Yeah, but if it's not, there's no Rodolfo Borrell, there's no replacement in. Who is making this choice? But I think, I feel like he's perfectly fine for what he does, and I want to see more from him before I've reached that conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to play pretty well in the last match that he was in Seattle, or against Seattle. So, what if we see more of all of these U22 players before we decide we don't want any of them?
Make decisions? Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to this. This is a very speculative.
Yeah.
This is one of those almost not worth talking about rumors, but this is Uruguayan midfielder Emiliano Martinez, who, there you go. That would plug your Dubersarsky-based hole in the defensive midfield. Plays for Palmeiras, but this one says, interested in him and may open talks for the Uruguayan forward in the coming days. LAFC, which tried to sign him before, continues to follow the player. So this seems really speculative. Be awesome if they could dump a DP to get him.
Yeah, because he would definitely.
And this is the kind of player that I think we should look to bring in, but it's probably not this player.
Yeah, I was going to say, he would definitely have to be a DP, right? His information on Transfer Market has him in the mid fours, I think, for 4 million-ish value. So Palmeiras would be looking to get that in a transfer fee. And how much of this do you think is agent driven? Because we signed a player from Palmeiras just recently, Facundo Torres. Like, how much of it is driven by the agent? How much of it is driven by maybe Facu really liked playing with Emi Martinez and is like trying to push this, right?
He's like, if you want me to be as good as I used to be, bring this guy in. Now, this feels very agent trying to generate interest. And I think some of the other things I read, we're already speculating about like who they might bring in after the fact. But so this seems like somebody that either wants a new deal or wants to get something settled or wants to move on somewhere and is just using the Austin name, maybe because of this connection with Torres. But I don't read a ton of stock into this at all.
Yeah. This one, we don't have a roster space to move him into. We don't have a sporting director to make the signing. There's a lot of stuff that we don't have that we would need to make this work. And so I do not see it happening. But I can think of worse things to do than to buy a peak defensive midfielder. That would be cool to have one of those. Especially if we just kept playing him at defensive midfield instead of like we did with Alex Ring and move him to the 8.
Move him somewhere else. Yeah. Okay,
right.
let's go on. Let's go to the second team.
Let's talk about some good news. The second team continues to be amazing. Efecito had a victory on Wednesday, a 4-0 win. Micah Burton was man of the match. And then we drew on Sunday against Houston, ended up with a PK loss because at the end of every MLS Next Pro match that ends in a draw, there are penalty shootouts. We lost those. But 17-year-old Christian Ayala has 2 goals in his last 2 games. Are we finally starting to see some kids from the academy come through and make a difference on the second team at least?
I think we are. That's really good to see because one of the also things that we heard about for Jim Curtin is this desire to remake the system all the way from the bottom up. So this is seeing, another success and just I think it makes a lot of difference for the second team. I know they've been winning even without these guys, but seeing CJ, Micah, some of these guys back really shows this is a pretty good team and somewhat of a pipeline through the first team to regardless of acquisition to see the kind of players that are starting and playing right now. So yeah, this is super encouraging. And they're still, even when the loss to Houston, because I think Houston's second in the West, is still first in the Western Conference in MLS Next Pro, which is something that we shouldn't worry about too much. But you know what? Trophies is trophies. And a star on your jersey is a star on your jersey. And with the way
star
the first
on
team's
somebody
playing,
else's jersey down the street still counts.
Yeah, we should pull for that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, seeing a player like Christian Ayala come up and join a player like Eric Feliciano, we now have 2 young players from the academy making a difference at the second team. We've got a young player from the academy who made a difference on the second team, assisting goals on the first team. The future could be very bright. But Jeremiah, I'm ready for the present to be bright.
To be bright.
Will we get that away at Colorado on Saturday, August 1st at 6:30 p.m.?
Well, given Austin's history on the road this year, I think we should absolutely expect that. So let's talk a little bit about this, though. Yeah. By all accounts, I went back and read back to some other previews. Like Colorado had a really good offseason, has not shown up to fields yet.
I'm sorry. I said 6:30 p.m. It is an 8:30 kickoff.
This is what happens when I am in the Mountain Time Zone, which is where I am today. No, I was in Phoenix. I was in the Western Time Zone when I wrote that. So it was 6:30 in Phoenix. I think that's backwards. I don't know. Screw it. 8:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
8:30 Central Time, Saturday, August 1st. You were saying.
Okay. Colorado allegedly had a good offseason, but we're still looking at the 13th and 14th place teams in the West playing. So, like, the results have not come. They've got some interesting players. The Rafael Navarro leading in scoring with 8. Darren Yappie, I feel like, has been around for a little while and productive. And then Paxton Aronson, who I'm all into so much that I put him on my Golden Boot team. Is also a pretty good player, but maybe not scoring goals at the rate that I was hoping that he would. But those are kind of the guys to watch for on the Colorado side of things.
Yeah, we have a opponent spotlight for Swoon Tower that we are going to be recording tomorrow night. I guess tonight while you're listening to Moon Tower on Tuesday, and we will get a little bit more insight from them on the Colorado side of the house. But Jeremiah, how do we win on the road?
We've not shown evidence of the ability or pathway to do that. So
should we just do everything we didn't do in every away game?
Houston, but in reverse, which doesn't seem to be what that Davey Arnaud is planning to bring to that. So I think it becomes like, is the game tied late and Ervin Torres makes the magic? Is it, there's a lot of wish casting, I think, at this point to, does Facundo Torres unlock whatever it is that makes him special that you see in those moments that we don't see over extended periods of time? Can we get last year's Owen Wolf and not like this more timid version of Owen Wolf? Do we get a little bit of the pre-injury Brandon Vasquez that we haven't seen much of? Granted, he's just back from injury, but he has not been a very impactful player. Like, it all comes down to these hopes and dreams and nothing that's like super predictable or reliable, at least in my head, but you can tell me if you believe differently.
Yeah, no, I don't know how we win on the road because I don't know what Davey is doing. And that feels crazy because, like, I understood the concepts that Nico was trying to do with this team. They didn't work. I understood the concepts of what Josh Wolf was trying to do with this team. They didn't work. I don't understand what Davey's trying to do, and it's not working. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am going to watch the game because I'm a mark.
I will do the same. And Landon and I will get to talk about it next week. And at least, because I've had these moments when I've been traveling before, and I've watched a game where we've gotten clobbered. And I've been like, thank God Landon and Mike have to be the ones to talk about this one next week. So at least go into this one knowing you don't have to share your thoughts for an hour plus with people on Moon Tower Soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Steph and I get to avoid all the problems. And so all I want is goals and sellies. If we lose, that's fine. I will only talk about the good part of it. So we will see what is going on with that.
But I would again encourage anybody that's listening, check out the opponent spotlight, and you will hear from somebody who's actually informed about Colorado. And maybe they'll talk about some flaws that they have, and it will cause you to have more hope tomorrow than you have today when recording this episode.
That would be so dope. Very hopeful. If you want to watch this away match with other supporters, there is a Los Verdes watch party at Brutorium. That's at 6015 Dillard Circle A, Austin, Texas, 78752. Kickoff time, again, is 8:30. So show up early, get a good spot. Their pretzels are so good at Brutorium. Absolutely get one of those. And that is 8/1. So this coming Saturday, kickoff 8:30. Yep.
Check it out. Watch with your friends. I mean, if you're gonna be
the way to get through this is together.
You might see on the field. Yeah, together. Absolutely. It's the way we get through all this.
That's right. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. And we just want to give you a reminder to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Ratings and reviews for shows do such wonderful things for listenership, and the club's performance isn't pulling them in for us here right now. And so if you are enjoying the show anyway, please tell a friend. And if you want to continue the soccer conversation, find us on Instagram. That's probably the place where we're most active right now, Moon Tower Soccer on Insta. We'll be there.
You can find me rage tweeting in a way that I used to not, but it just feels like I have this negative energy, and this current version of Twitter is the place to reveal it because it's toxic. So
Oh no.
if you want to see the worst side of me, come check me out there.
And then sign up for the Patreon so that we can get Jeremiah some healthy outlets. Maybe we can GoFundMe his therapy instead of letting him rage tweet. Thank you so much for listening. Jeremiah will be back next week to review the Colorado match, preview the League's Cup matches in the following week, and cover any other Austin FC news that breaks with Landon Cottom. Until then.
Wait, I'm Jeremiah Bentley.
Oh, that's right. And I'm Mike Cragnola. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Perfect.
When no one is around.
Think for nothing, you never.
La gente.
Oh my God.
I will marry Chewy's.
Yeah.
Because they love boom sauce.